Hey guys, I'm at the 2021 Chicago Auto Show taking a look at Kia's first ever fully dedicated all-electric car. This right here behind me is the 2022 Kia EV6, built off of an entirely new global electric-only platform. This baby offers up to 300 miles of all-electric range, and if you guys spec up the high-performance GT model, gives you a maximum of 576 horsepower, which Kia says will allow you to blast from 0 to 60 in under 3.5 seconds. So now that I'm finally seeing this new all-electric car in person, let's take a first look. So if you guys remember the Hyundai Ioniq 5, this is essentially built off of the same platform. Remember, Kia likes to designate themselves as kind of like the crazy stepbrother to the Hyundai brand. So this is essentially that same vehicle platform, but as you can see with the EV6, it gets its own unique styling treatment. Let me first, of course, start with the front fascia. This one here is not the fully optioned GT version. That's coming at the end of next year. This is the GT line model, which gives you kind of the styling elements of the GT. The front and center of this vehicle is their digital Tiger Nose grille. This is, of course, the next generation or next evolution of their signature Tiger Nose grille and their design language. You can see the LED daytime running lights on this car are very distinctive with the kind of dual levels that you get on the top and the bottom. You have these reflectors for the low and high beam LED turn signals. Down here you can see some grille openings and some black details here with this lower splitter that you get on the GT line. And I especially love the new Kia logo here with this kind of textured aluminum look to it. Really makes this car stand out. When I first saw it on the Carnival, I really like the way this looks in person. And I also love it in this matte gray finished paint job, which you should be able to get on the first edition model, which Kia actually has already sold out all of the preservations of the 1500 they're going to be building. Now, looking at the rest of the profile, you can see Kia calls this vehicle a CUV, which it looks more like a hatch to me. It doesn't give you the ground clearance or the height of an SUV, but it does represent a longer vehicle. Its wheelbase at 114 inches long is actually the same length as the Telluride. Kia has not disclosed how long the overall length is of this vehicle, but the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is around 182 inches long, so it's about the same size as most compact crossovers in terms of the dimensions. Now, underneath this hood here, obviously you're not going to find a motor. Kia is going to offer two different battery packs, a 58 kilowatt hour standard battery pack and a 77.4 kilowatt hour larger battery pack. That's the one that'll offer up to 300 miles of range. The base powertrain version will do 0 to 60 in around 7 seconds. The GT line, this one here with dual motors and all-wheel drive, will probably take around 5 seconds. That's the one that most people are going to buy. While the GT Performance, the full-on GT model, will be coming at the end of next year. That'll offer 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and still the same 300 miles of range. Now, looking at the rest of this profile, you can see there's kind of like a nice blacked out A-pillar here, which kind of makes the roof appear like it's floating. Black mirror over here, and you can see the half-size pano roof, where this area here, I'm surprised it's not black. It would actually look a lot better. But the lines of this vehicle definitely give it a unique presence to it. It has kind of the crossover design to it, but it also kind of looks like a rolling concept car, which I think is pretty cool. Now, wheels, Kia will offer a choice between a 19, 20, and a 21-inch wheel. This one here is the 20-inch wheel option, riding on 255 45 width tires. Very interesting design. It does have a more aerodynamic shape to it because remember, aerodynamic is very important with a vehicle like this. Kia says it has a 0.28 coefficient of drag. Now, looking at the rear, this is an area where I actually didn't really like the way the EV6 looks in person or in pictures. In person, I think it actually looks quite a lot more interesting. You can see the charge port door is actually hidden behind this panel here. This vehicle offers fast charging, which, as you can see when it opens up, there's fast charging in this vehicle, which Kia says this will either run on the 400 volt or 800 volt charging system. If you guys have it plugged up to a 350 kilowatt hour charger, Kia says you'll go from 10 to 80% in roughly 18 minutes. So that's the quickest charging that you can find. And on a level 2, it'll charge overnight in around 7 hours if you guys use the onboard 11 kilowatt hour charger, which again is one of the quickest charging in the industry. Looking at the rear here, you can see it's got this unique design to the taillight where it's a full-length design. There's almost like a textured diamond plated look here on this portion of the taillight, which makes it look pretty cool. And then if you open up the cargo area, Kia actually already announced figures here. With the second row seats up, you get around 27 cubic feet of space. If you fold down the second row, Kia says you get around 53 cubic feet of space, which is pretty good. It's a little bit more than what you find in most hatchbacks, and there's even a nice underfloor storage area here where you can put the charger and whatnot. No spare tire, I believe. But I do like how this is kind of finished in this aluminum with the skid plate there. So as cool as the exterior looks on the new EV6, the interior is really where you're going to be spending most of your time, obviously. And Kia has done a phenomenal job with making this interior look very high-tech, yet also very futuristic. This is a really great place to spend time. And in terms of the materials, you can see this is a soft touch plastic here on the upper door panel, a lot of piano black plastic trim, a lot of great details. I really like this GT line with these two-tone seats with the white contrast, the suede Alcantara, the flat bottom wheel. That new Kia logo looks fantastic. Now, getting in here, you can see the one thing about the EV6 is it has a pretty low roof line, so I found myself having to duck my head a little bit. The seat goes up and down, it adjusts in I believe 10 or 12 different ways. It does have power lumbar, which is nice. When I shut the door has a pretty solid sounding thump considering this is a very early prototype. But let's take a look at this cabin here because this interior with the ambient lighting, which changes colors, looks great. I love the two 12-inch displays. Here you can see this is for the infotainment, this is for the instrument panel. It does include features like wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You also have a high power premium sound system. I love the way this steering wheel looks with the drive mode selector right here on the wheel. It cycles between, it looks like an eco, normal, and a sport. I love the graphics that you find even here with it looks like that's the Ioniq 5 that's actually it's in the center over there. Remember, this is a very early prototype model, but really it feels like you sit low. I feel like I'm not sitting in a crossover because it feels more like a hatch. There's a pretty good view, although the dash is pretty long, so that's something you have to get used to. Kia is also very proud of the fact that you have an augmented reality heads-up display. I first experienced that in the new Mercedes-Benz S-Class, so you don't even have to spend 100 grand to get something like that. Very cool feature. This right here, it looks also pretty high-tech. I do wish that Kia had extended this so it had a little bit less of the non-usable black space in the instrument panel, but it almost tries to make it look like it's one continuous piece until you actually turn on the screen. Over here you can see the interface here is the Kia Yuvo system, although it's been slightly updated. It's got several different EV modes. There's a built-in GPS as you expect. This vehicle should be able to find charging stations for you. The GPS function, the map display looks pretty much like every other Kia product. I'm gonna have to wait until I can test this vehicle to kind of fully judge this. This is a very early prototype, but you do get features like wireless phone charging. You have a unique rotary shifter here, a very nice floating center console here where you get a little bit of storage down here. 2 USB ports are also over there. And I also really like the seats. They feel pretty comfortable and supportive. I don't know if they offer cooled seats. I'm gonna assume mostly heated, but actually right here you can see there's a cooled seat function, heated, and a heated steering wheel. So Kia is throwing in all the features that you pretty much expect nowadays. And this interior really shows. It just feels like it could have a little bit more headroom, but you kind of have to give that up because of the low roof design, the fastback roof design that you get with this vehicle. Now this is supposed to be a CUV, so I want to check out the back seat very quickly. Now with the sloping roof, you definitely have to duck your head at 5'7". I'm not the tallest person ever, but I probably would bash my head against that roof panel if I wasn't being careful as I got in. But as you can see, getting back here and looking at the second row, Kia doesn't have any final legroom figures, but it feels like it has around 35 inches of legroom. This is comparable to something like a Honda Civic or a Toyota Corolla. Very interesting design. It's very dark back here, so I wish that the sunroof came back, or Kia may offer a lighter color. In terms of the materials, this is a very early prototype version, so I'm not going to judge on the material quality, but I do like how you have these dual map pockets. There's no rear seat charging here or vents on the console, but there actually is a vent over here on the door panel, which is nice. But overall, the flat floor makes it so you could fit 3 people across here if you wanted to. So the million-dollar question with any EV is there a frunk underneath this hood? Now, Kia said that I could open this up, so let's find out. Now this one here is the all-wheel drive version, so there is a front motor here that's going to take up some of the space. But if you actually open up this little compartment here, there is a small little frunk. Now Kia says that the rear drive model will have a slightly deeper frunk. Now obviously this is not as large as what you're gonna find in some Tesla vehicles or even the Ford Mustang Mach-E, but it is nice that they gave you a little bit of storage. That's something you're not gonna find in something like the Volkswagen ID4, and apparently the Nissan Ariya will also not have a frunk. Now, in terms of the powertrain specs, the base version will be rear-wheel drive. It'll have just around 170 horsepower, 0 to 60 in the mid 7s. It's got a 58 kilowatt hour battery pack on the standard model, and this one here has the extended range battery pack, which offers around 77.4. The GT version is the one that I'm most interested in. That one will have a 270 kilowatt hour or 270 kilowatt motor at the rear with a 160 kilowatt motor at the front, which combined will offer around 576 horsepower for a 0 to 60 time of around under 3.5 seconds. Charging times are also very impressive. It runs on the 800 volt system, and Kia says you could basically go from 10 to 80% in around 18 minutes. And if you want to overnight charge this vehicle on a level 2, it should do it in around 7 hours and give you 300 miles of range. That will be the range of the extended range battery pack. Now, electrification is definitely the future, and after spending a little bit of time finally seeing the all-new EV6 in person, I have no doubt this is a vehicle that's going to do extremely well for Kia. Kia in general, Hyundai and Kia, have just been on fire, and this new all-electric EV6 will be going on sale sometime early next year. Kia is taking reservations right now. You can go to their website and do that. And they've already sold out of the launch edition model, which they were only offering around 1,500 of those, starting at around 58,500. I imagine the base version of this car will start in around $40,000, which would put it right in line with most of its competitors. Remember, this car will be rear-wheel drive, where you can also option an all-wheel drive. The GT model is the one I'm most excited for because it has 100 more horsepower than the Mach-E GT and around 100 more horsepower than something like a Tesla Model Y or Model 3 Performance. And if you guys like the design, I really like the way this car looks in the front and the rear. It's definitely interesting. I haven't had a chance to see the Hyundai Ioniq 5 in person. Sadly, Hyundai is not here at the Chicago Auto Show this year. I should be seeing it next month in New York. But really, if you guys are looking for an all-electric car, there are so many options coming that aren't a Tesla. And the new EV6 should definitely be added to the top of your list. And if you guys are interested in purchasing one, be sure to go to Kia's website and leave a deposit right now so you can put your name in line for a reservation. But with all that said, I hope you guys have enjoyed my first look overview on the 2022 Kia EV6 here at the 2021 Chicago Auto Show. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.